Get motivated with Mr. Smiles, Vinney Chopra. He is also known as Mr. Enthusiasm. He will share and challenge you each week on great topics on how to get excited, how to really make things happen in your business, and change your life for the better. Here is Vinney with this week's Motivation Inspiration.
Hi, guys. Welcome to your weekly Motivation Power Talk with Mr. Smiles, Vinney Chopra.
Yes.
My name is Alicia DeBro, and I get the privilege to interview this man. He's one of the most positive and successful people I have met to date. And I get the privilege each week to have these motivation talks with him. So it's really cool. You may have heard his story. He's been on over 75 different podcasts. I have no idea where he gets the time for all this stuff. He's been a guest on. You can also find him on Facebook Live every Friday morning at 10 Pacific. And you can also find him at vinneychopra.com, which you'll find the links here in the show notes. Here he is. He's always smiling. He's always excited. Hey, Vinney, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Alicia. I look forward to this time together every week that you interview me and I, say a few things. And I hope the audience is liking, what they're listening and so forth. And if any of the audiences would like to ask me some questions that are really in their life or in their, business or things like that, because this is a motivation talk show. So that's very important for me to see that I give some nuggets or whatever I know in my life. Tender life of 40 years I've been in this country, and I just look forward to it. Really special time with you.
Yes, no, I love how the way you like to give. You don't just take, you always give. And you're always giving great advice and great energy. And I enjoy our talks also. So guys, today, Mr. Smiles me and Mr. Smiles are going to basically talk about mindset. I'm going to get his take on how mindset affects his life in general, but also how it has affected his previous businesses and now his current apartment syndication and management business, which is extremely successful. And I like I said, I have no idea where he is the time.
Well, I don't know either. Let's see what's in my mind.
I think he's got a magic little key to time that I don't have. I would like to borrow. But all right, guys. So, Vinney, I'm glad to talk to you today. So, you're always smiling. You always, have that positive mindset. Where does that come from? Does that come from your family, or did your mama have a positive mindset? Or is it just natural?
I know. Well, no, I wouldn't say it was natural. I'll be the first one to say, you don't really have when you're born. The mindset of what you are as a person as we grow older and older and older. I really believe that the circumstances around you make your life, to be begging for more in life or begging for less. I don't know if that's the right word, but the thing is, I'm always thinking, when did I really get into this mindset? Like you just asked me, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I know exactly, to be truthful. I was a goal-oriented person when I grew up and all that, and I was a studious person, right? But the thing is, why was I studying more and giving my best at that time was to maybe have a better living, maybe better life. I knew I'll be coming to USA probably in junior high school. Can you believe it? And I came to USA about 7 years later after I completed, or maybe more than that, four years in high school and then 4 years in college and all that 8 years later. But the thing is, mindset is such a thing which we can have a mindset which is fixed, which is just like we are not open to any outside things, and mindset of growth. And there is a very good book actually written by a Stanford professor. I read that Claudia, I think was her name, Mindset. There is a book out there, really good one. She's a psychologist and she did very good depiction of mindset, why we do what we do in our life, And I think in my humble beginnings, my mindset was that I want to be better than where I was in that situation. Some of the people have heard that we were 6 siblings, right? My one sister got adopted, so we were 5 then after she was in 2nd or 3rd grade. And we had a very humble beginning, in living in 1-bedroom apartment and 1 living room and the hallway kind of thing. But the thing is, you set your mindset as you get older and older and older and older, because the life throws a lot of things at you. And I can go back in my life and see that I was very dissatisfied, I think. To be truthful, more I thought about it when you are asking me this question, my mindset grew when I was taken back into situations which I did not like. And then you make a small decision. I am not going to be in that mindset or in that situation. I want to get out of that situation, see? So our mindset, I think, in my thinking, my humble thinking, is that we set our mind to the circumstances we are in and how we want to get better at.
Well, would you agree with me when you say, like, okay, so when you're born, you kind of have a blank slate, right? But then things in life kind of are thrown at you, which sometimes will make you have a negative or a positive reaction and mindset to it. But if you, like you said, that you have to make a decision to say, no, this is not the mindset that I want. This is not the outcome I want. So I think that was, I love the answer to that, because that pretty much drew that exactly out. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I really think so. Mindset is such a thing. Again, what is mind? If we look into our mind, we have a conscious mind and we have subconscious mind, as all of us know, right? Conscious is when we are awake, we are doing things. When we started to learn ride the bicycle, we consciously decided that we want to get better at it. We fell down, things happened, but then we had that mindset and we did fall a couple of times or 3 times, 4 times, but then we got better and better and better. And now we can ride bike like nobody's business. Driving a car, we were fearful probably when we were in the 15 years of age. Remember, and we wanted to get that license. We wanted to go to the DMV, and we had so fearful if I'm going to pass that test and all that, right? But we did mindset. We did a mindset in our mind that I'm going to achieve. Even though I fail, I will achieve. And that is what it's in our life also. In the business world, in our personal life, I have not been a really good, at everything. And nobody is. But the thing is, if the mindset is right, and we say, I want to be a better husband, I want to be a better father, I want to be a better mother, I want to be a better sister, I want to help more people, I want to be a better leader in my company, I want to be helping more people to set the right positive attitude. It's all in the mindset, see? The thing is, if we say, to us, I want to be not in a fixed mindset, like, the professor says, and I want to be in a growth mindset. Okay. Now, mindset of growth is abundant. Oh my gosh. Now we are in a different space, really, totally. So I would say that we should really have a mindset of growth. Accomplishment, reaching more, and doing more, and seeing the fruit of our labor more.
I like that. I usually always hear positive or negative. I like the growth aspect of it, which is obviously on the positive side. But I want to kind of dig in a little bit to, so when, let's just say you have maybe a coaching client that you're working with, or maybe an investor, it doesn't matter. But, they really, I just could imagine things don't always go perfect. So what is your secret to staying positive and to have that great, because you have such an incredible, mindset, and you're always happy and you're always goal oriented. I have no idea how you get everything done. So how do you stay that way? Like, what is the secret?
Oh my gosh. Let me think through here. Again, like I mentioned in the starting, that setting the day right is so important, right? The miracle morning, to really make sure that you are poised to action and helping lots of people around us on a daily basis. So what you're asking is right. The mindset is starting in the morning to accomplish things. Not everything gets done in a day. Rome was not built in a day. I tell that to my team and I tell it to myself and everything. I want things done. I say that in my podcast also. I've given interviews that, you could accomplish 5 days of work in 3 days. If you have the right mindset in life, in action, and really concentrating on we'll talk about in another podcast about how to accomplish so much, how to control time. We can control time.
I can't wait for that one because still don't understand it.
I'm telling you, controlling time and controlling life go together in one way. There was Alan Lankin's book, How to Control Your Time and Control Your Life, that affected me so much. And I learned so much from that book 40 years back, by the way. Of course, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Yeah. That also I read about 40 years back. That affected me a lot. David Day Schwartz, Magic of Thinking Big. And, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Life is Tremendous. So I would love to bring in my podcast, a lot of these books from my library. I'm going to take some books and we're going to discuss them and see the real meaning of those books. And I say that, I don't read the whole book, but I like to see 3-4 things that I'm going to implement in my life. Even the podcast, I hope the audience sees where I'm coming from. I don't want you to, really be listening to me and not applying. You got to get 2 or 3 things from me today and then apply them and then come back for next week and next week, maybe even start a journal, and you say, hey, Vinney's podcast number this, I learned this. And then go back a month from then now and then see, oh my gosh, in 4 podcasts, Vinney talked about these things. Am I applying it? Am I using it to the hilt?
No, I agree. So tell me this, because the business that you're in, apartment syndication, if somebody has, let's just say, because this happens all the time where, stuff's not going good at home or somebody has a negative mindset at home. Do you think it's possible for somebody to have a negative mindset at home and a positive mindset in business?
Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's really hard. No, they will be successful, but their journey is going to take longer. See, the thing is, if we don't have a good life at home, those stresses stay with us. And I have been ineffective in my life. I will be very candid with my audience and with you, where I have blown a whole day just because I had a fight with my wife or something. It happens, guys. It happens. And with ladies and men, it happens. But the thing is, you got to bring it into a different perspective. And we could say that, what stays at home, I need to be a different person. We need to have split personality. I'm sorry, but you got to do it. You got to put it in a box at home. All the stresses and strains and money situations and problems and family problems and kids problems and everything. Because if we carry that into our world of business, into what we want to accomplish with the clients don't give a damn. We need to give them our best face forward. right? And with the investors or my students or anybody I come in touch with in business world, I need to be totally not talking about and not be stressed out in front of them what's happening in my other part of the life. And it takes time. It takes, a lot of gumption. It takes a lot of working where we could compartmentalize and leave that stress outside our business life. It's hard.
I completely agree. I've worked with, in my past, I've worked with a ton of sales reps, and I'm not always, I should practice what I preach. I'm not always perfect at it, but I always tell them, like, especially if they're in a commission only position and they are in apartment syndication for sure. If you come into work and you bring, let's just say you get in a fight with the wife or whatever the problem is at home, or your husband or whatever it may be, you bring that into work and you're not putting your best foot forward, your best face forward, like you said. The only thing that's going to do is cause more problems because it's going to cost you more money. If you can put that stuff on the side and come into work and be positive and be motivated to, close deals, make money, do whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, but be successful. Those problems will still be there when you get home. I promise you.
Exactly.
And they'll still be there, just how big they are. You can either make it worse or you can make them better.
You're so right about it, Alicia. See, the thing is, the problems will be there, but if you have accomplished pretty good in your business world in that 7 hours or 6 hours, driving time and everything we have, right? And we are giving positive thinking, like I say, automobile university and all that. But if we are in better frame of mind, better accomplishment, we made a sale or we got an investor or we had a good, a deal analysis of a property or whatever, right? Anything. We came home, we are in a better perspective right now to deal with the same problems. But can I say something? Those problems will not be as big as you left them when you were frustrated in the morning because you left them there in a box, like I was sharing. And then when you came back, maybe you had some time during lunch or in the afternoon to look at the perspective why it was a stressful situation with your wife or son or daughter or anybody, right? With the conflict, where they were coming from, where you were coming from, or I was coming from. See, the thing is, why do we have conflict in life? We have conflicts and fights in life when we do not understand the other people. See, the thing is, in our short life, we need to listen more and talk less. We need to listen more because God gave us 2 ears and 2 eyes to feel and see and listen, and gave only 1 mouth. I'm not new to say that. We should be speaking 1/5 of the time. We got 5 things, 2 and 2, 4 plus 5, and the mouth is only 1 of the 5. So 20% of the time we should be talking. 80% of the time we should be listening.
No, totally agreed. But I want to drive this conversation to mindset and apartment syndication. So when someone decides to get into apartment syndication and become an entrepreneur, which is basically what they're trying to do,
yes,
is they're becoming an entrepreneur and work for themselves. What are maybe? Can you give me 3 things that somebody needs to keep in the front of their mind to keep a positive mindset? What are the top 3 things you can think of?
Okay, I can think of a couple of 3 things you asked me, right? Yeah. I would say definitely the goal, the whys. I say that all the time, right? You got to make sure that you're purpose driven. See, the purpose-driven life is the best life one can have. One has to be totally focused on the purpose and, to have it written down. I really believe in that. I think I grew by leaps and bounds in my businesses in my previous life as a sales consultant. By the way, I don't know if a lot of people know that. I was a motivational speaker for 37 years. 37 years with one company. And I was a failure. I was a success in book sales, in encyclopedia sales and Bible books I sold door to door. I was a big success because nobody knew me at that time. My accent was more thicker. A lot of people can't understand me right still, but that's okay. But a lot of people let me into their home and they said, come on in. And then I was so naive to, kind of really, well, not naive, but, like I was giving them very pleasing, what's the word? I was trying to get to know them, I guess, and they would like to ask me about things about India and all that. But then they got to endear me. Right. And they would open up and they'll buy books and encyclopedias. And I was very top salesperson, by the way. That's where I became from an engineer to a salesperson and a marketing consultant and then MBA, which I was doing. Anyway, to say all this to say that, as we accomplish things, my investors, like you asked me, right? What are the three things? One is purpose-driven life. That's important. They need to have total goals and keep your focus straight on the goals. Second thing is action. I believe in action. So they need to really learn from my academy the tricks that I share with them in my lectures. They need to implement every action step that I tell them, because I'm telling them for having them, reach step into a frame of mind, being an entrepreneur, into a good businessman, and then third thing I will say would be to keep the positive and abundant attitude. Okay, what do I mean by that? That's so important in life, because if you're fearful, if you're procrastinating, if you're thinking small things will happen. In the syndication world, big things happen. In the syndication world, we are using the power of money, which is all around us. We are actually giving something very special to our investors, our family, our relatives, our business associates, our pastors, our business people. I mean, everybody. I have like circle of influences I call in the meetings. We are able to give so much tremendous information to all the people around us to pool the money together legally. I say legally because legally. We are into a world which I love, syndication world. It's governed by SEC ruling, Securities and Exchange Commission ruling, where we have fiduciary responsibility to the money of our investors. We need to safeguard their money better than our money. And that has been my truth of success. My wife and I, we have been very successful, but we always look at it. Our money, what we have saved is something special, different. But investors' money, we need to safeguard their money so that they don't lose it, that they grow the money, that they get the cash flows, that they get the equity gains. Like we just closed on a deal in January. I wouldn't mind sharing. All my things I talk in podcasts and my other podcast, Syndication Made Easy, which you are also helping me with, is that I will be giving nuggets day in, day out, answering questions from my students and my academy, my high achievers who ask me some very tough questions, why and how to do those things, right? But the three things, coming back to your question, I do take a lot of other things, is that purpose-driven life, first of all, the whys, action-oriented, you got to be that, and positive attitude. If we have those three things and you mix the knowledge that you gain in my academy and you work on those things, you'll be successful.
I like it. So tell me the truth. Like, I have flipped homes. I know a little bit when it comes to apartment syndication, but how hard is apartment syndication or commercial real estate? I mean, really, when you got into it, you did the same thing I did, which was flipping homes, and we both came from the single family mindset. Home mindset. So how hard was it for you to master?
Okay, good point. We were buying single family homes, every money we could save, Alicia, in a small salary that I was at, and then commissions and all that. Like I said, we were just trying to look for, not in California, we live near San Francisco, and it's pretty expensive out here, really,
I
really
know.
expensive. So I knew that I had to go outside California. We did buy in the Central Valley in California where things were cheaper. And, I do talk about this $65,000 home we bought. We had to put down about 11,000, and it increased in value to 315,000. Oh my gosh, 5 times in just 7 years or 8 years or something. We refinanced it and so forth. To say that then we put that money into buying in Bakersfield and so forth, like 4 homes on one lot. We bought that, and we bought it with a thinking in my mind was we're going to move the homes to another location, but then build an apartment complex there. So the seed of apartments came in my mind 20, 30 years back. I even invested into an apartment in Reno, Nevada, with 165 units as a limited partner, with another general partner syndicator. And just to say that, because that gave me the feeling also of, oh my gosh, there is this scalability. So I was introduced with this concept 35 years back, but the single family homes were not making money. They were not doing cash flow. If I had a boiler went out, or if an investor, my tenant, resident, we call them now, tenant left, my home was vacant. For a month or so, I had to fix the wall. I had to take care of a lot of things, all that stuff. So all those things really didn't make sense to me. So the whole world changed for me when I got into syndication, which was about 15 years back that I got introduced to this world of syndication and multifamily.
And how hard was it for you to master?
Okay. It was hard. It was hard. In other words, that I didn't know ABCs of, multifamily. And I always believe that I wanted, if I make up my mind to do certain thing in my life, I immerse myself into it. That's the word, immersion. All my audience, if you're listening to me, you got to immerse yourself. You cannot just put your tip of the toe in the water, the hot water. You got to put your full foot in it, in the hot water, to really taste it. And that's what it is. You cannot just accomplish too much in life if you're just trying this thing and that thing and that thing and that thing. And, I will be very open to you. I went to a lot of boot camps. I took a lot of coaching from other professionals. I paid $30,000. I paid myself money I did not have. By the way, I borrowed the money, and I went to the best of the best to learn the tricks of the trade, because I knew if I didn't do it, I'm going to be sloughing off. I will be looking for free information. Nobody's going to give you free good information. They're going to give you just on the superfluous level some of these blog articles and this and that. But when you pay some money to a coach or a mentor, you get the real deal. And I paid for my team $160,000. I'm telling you, I took my team to the same people and my other partner and all that. Anyway, but I never suggested right now to take your whole team of 5 or 6 people and pay for them. They need to really earn the right to be able to get coached by top people, and you got to take, make sense to you. I was naive and everything, like everybody is, but that's okay. I never look back the negatives. See, if you look at the negatives, you are stymieing yourself. You are not really growing with the mindset. You are fixed in the mindset of not a growth mindset. Just an example. Everything is example in my life. I got introduced to another coach, and he took us to Vancouver. And he said for $5,000, I bought his course or whatever. He made us stay at the Hyatt Regency I paid another $1,000 for staying there and food and everything. I spent about 3, 4, 5,000 in this whole 4-day seminar. But they will not tell you what this whole program was. I couldn't believe it. At the 4th day, they told you, and it was auction. I know, it was a huge sales pitch. I mean, I could not believe. I hated that coach, to be truthful, and I told my wife, I said, they have not told us anything. This is the 3rd day now. They're just building it. And the 4th day we come out, it's an auction of luxury homes. Oh my gosh.
I made the same mistake.
Oh my gosh, I could not believe it. I came home and I told my wife, I said, you know what? I've spent $5,000, but I would rather just not even talk about it. I lost the money. If I just get into that and say, why me, why poor me, why I made the wrong decision, why I went there, why I say I lost my 4 days and 7 days or whatever, I was trying to do some things. I said, I'm not going to go there. But then when I made the choice of multifamily and I found out why it's going to scale up and why it's going to be not buying 20 homes all over this, USA and having the problems and everything, but get the 20 homes under 2 roofs in apartment and have 20 residents living in that and a maintenance person and so forth, or 50 or 100. Scalability made sense to me. Economies of scale made sense to me. Yeah, right there.
Nice.
So that was the transitional point for me. And then the thing is, nobody can really understand the whole business overnight. See, I find some of the investors are coming to me. They're saying, how quickly can I get 100-unit building? How quickly can I get 200 units? In 3 days, I want to leave my job. Hold on. Guys, you will not do it. Don't do it. If some coach tells you that you can do it, go far away from them. I'm telling you, because it's not going to happen. I mean, maybe 1 out of million, oh no, I shouldn't say that. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 might be able to stuff a gold of a great property within a month and have investors already lined up somehow with your circle or your interest and so forth. Then only you can do it, because you got to have the people, investors, bringing thousands and thousands of dollars and a great deal in an emerging market as a syndicator to make it happen. So, I say that. I mean, my very good student, which I talk about and brag about, Dylan Marma, is crushing it, and other people are too. But they were reaction oriented. They were able to do it with everything that I taught quickly, things like that. But it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. I don't want to give any false pretense to anybody. Yeah.
No, definitely. So do you find that there are certain people that are built for, the apartment syndication entrepreneur world, and certain people that do not have the right mindset for it?
You're right. Yes. As we had talked about mindset, definitely, I find the students who are coming into my academy and applying for mentorship are in the right frame of mind. They have discovered themselves, they're purpose driven, and they go through the whole lecture about, goal setting and everything. And they say, Vinney, I'm motivated, I'm excited. This is what I've accomplished. And they tend to do better. Yes, they do tend to do better, because they are accomplishing, like my surgeons and my pharmacists and my doctors and the wholesalers, all of them, they're crushing it better than my other regular students who are not motivated. See, I do a lot more coaching with materials, but I'm also a motivational coach. So I give both of those doses together to make things happen. So I do change the mindset in my group coaching and personal coaching with my students, which they need that, by the way, but once they get to understand me, who I am, and I'm going to hold them accountable, they need to act and they need to move farther. And I tell them in my group coaching, hey, I'm just meeting with you today not to be a crutch. but I'm here to answer your good questions that you didn't find answered in my academy. I mean, I've given 720 lectures or something like that. So much material is there. I mean, there are just so many questions that come up, anyway. But the mindset plays a big, important role in achieving success. Yes.
Definitely. So now we're at the point in the show where I always ask at the end of every one of our Motivation Power Talks for your nugget of advice on mindset in the apartment syndication business. So give me my nugget for this week.
Okay. The biggest nugget I can leave my audience with is get a growth mindset. Which is what the topic was today. And the big thing is, if you have that growth mindset, a lot of doors will open up for you. Please do not procrastinate. Please do not have a fixed mindset. Like I said, that book I discussed with you about the mindset. You got to have a growth mindset of abundance, of expectation, of going to achieve more. If you are achieving great already, you will achieve even more things. If you're not getting the results that you want in your life, by having a growth mindset, it's going to change your perspective. It's going to give you new energy. It's going to give you so much more zeal and excitement and passion in your life. And that's what this life is about. It is.
I love your energy. I love your energy. I always do it. Always enjoy it. Like sometimes I'll be exhausted. I'll be out, guys. I'll be exhausted. And then I get on the phone with him and I'm like 5 steps up. I'm like, how did I get there? Just because you have so much energy. But all right, guys, so you just got your weekly Motivation Power Talk with Mr. Smiles, Vinney Chopra. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and tune in each week for to get motivated to take your business to the next level. Have a terrific week. Vinney always says, make it happen each day. Because that's just how he is.
Yes, exactly. You got to make it happen, because you want to go back to your family smiling with a lot of energy. And your wife should say today, after you listen to me, guys, that she'll say, you're a different person. Oh my gosh, you're changing. And you could really tell your family and your kids to listen to me also. Hopefully I can give some really great value to you each week that's going to change your life for the better, your business for the better. Tune in next week. I'm going to bring you along with Alicia. Alicia, you're awesome. I want to thank you. You're amazing, pulling out a lot of great nuggets out of my mind and who I am. So thank you so much. I want to thank you.
It's fine. It's easy. You're easy to work with, and it's my pleasure, because you have so much to give the audience, and not only about the apartment syndication business, but about motivation and just your outlook on life in general, which is why we decided to do the motivation, power talks. All right, guys. So if you guys want to reach Mr. Smiles, you can reach him at vinneychopra.com, which you'll find that link here in the show notes. You can also invest with him, partner with him. And if you get on that site, you can actually apply to get into his mentorship academy, where you can learn about apartment syndication. You'll learn everything from A to Z. I promise you, I've seen the content. So guys, I hope you guys have a great week. Vinney, it's been great, and I will get on to you next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Alicia. I look forward to seeing you, and also hopefully my audience will tune in next week and look for the next podcast. And let's
Facebook Live Friday at 10.
Yes, Friday night. Friday
good morning, 10 Pacific.
Yeah, which I do on syndication questions and apartment investing and managing, guys, from San Francisco, where I live. So 10 a.m. Please tune in. If you are not listening to me yet, go ahead and send me a link. I will accept you, and then you can please turn on the notification That's the big thing, because as I come live, you want to catch me. If you miss me, go ahead and go on my Facebook page, and then you can see me also later on. I have lots and lots of hundreds of viewers, who listen to me afterwards, because a lot of people are in their, at their job, so they cannot really come 10 o'clock a.m. But I like to do it 10 o'clock, which is about 12 o'clock Central, lunchtime, maybe 1 o'clock Eastern. So that's why I decided that time. But thank you. I really appreciate each one of you who are, please share this podcast with your family, friends, your Facebook page, Instagram. Let's get into a positive world. That's what it's all about.
Love it. All right, guys, you just heard your Motivation Power Talk on Mindset with Vinney Chopra and Alicia Debrow. Until next week.